Hey guys, we're live. It's Sunday night session. Guys, we're coming in for a Chris Hardy comes in with a self-deprecating comment. I feel like Sam at Cheers. I've got my usuals. I guess that makes Billy Duplessis Norm. Because every time Billy comes in, I yell his name. All right, guys. Well, we got not a terribly big one today. Today, we're kind of taking it loose. I didn't do a lot of show prep. I thought I'd play this one loose. Quite frankly, I've only got about 10, 15 minutes worth of content to talk about, and then I'll probably just end up taking pictures. Taking pictures. I'm operating on 5 hours of sleep after a week of driving. I'll end up taking questions. But yeah, Chris, in fact, that is a phrase that I have used my entire life, is engage your brain. And in fact, I was toying with the idea of a t-shirt with just a cartoon brain that says engage your brain on it. I thought that'd be fun. Chris, thank you for the super chat. I feel like I'm having just a chat with Chris right now. This is hilarious. Yeah. Let's Oh, Greg, yeah, just when I try to subscribe on the website for the newsletter, it gives me an unknown error. Try to sign up today. I actually had our site admin look at that because I think Greg had emailed me earlier about that, and I wanted to like earlier this week, and he wasn't the first. So we did have. Tuesday we had some updates that took the magazine down for about 2 or 3 hours, and we had to do some updates, just basic housekeeping, and we're planning on moving over to a different host server, and just because we want faster load speeds and we want just for it to be a little more mobile optimized. So that is all part of the process when it comes to websites is just finding a good host and all that kind of crap. And that's one of the things we got to do with the Watercraft Journal. So, oh boy. So let's talk about what we got going on this week, and what videos are coming out, and I always do a little bit of news. I'm super scatterbrained, guys. I'm hyper caffeinated and underfed and and I got no sleep, and oh boy. So anyway, I just got the second draft of our Sea-Doo Switch video. There was a couple changes that need to be made. I think those changes are going to be done by tonight, which means the article will be prepped and the video will be scheduled for the scheduled article, and video will be on Wednesday. So it'll go live technically midnight, Tuesday night, midnight 01. So you guys can check it out. If you're on the West Coast, it's only 10 o'clock at night. If you're a night owl, you can check it out then. But yeah, the Sea-Doo Spark video, it only came out to be like 13 minutes. It was surprisingly short. I thought it was going to be like 20 minutes long. But that one went pretty well. We had some really good footage. We had some just some really good stuff. I tried to cram in as much information as I could. So it's going to be really dense, just really, really packed. And because of that, I know people are going to be like, how fast is it? And how long is it? And it's like, dude, just rewind the video. You'll see it. It's in there. Or just read the article and it's typed out. So that being as it is, that video and article should be live on Wednesday. Then the next video after that will be the Riva Edition Sea-Doo RX-PX 350 that we got to interview Dave Bambus with, and that one was really cool. Super trick machine. I mean, really, it's like a stage 1.5. It's not necessarily a stage 2. It's what they call their limited package, and that thing is pretty stout. So I wish I got to ride this current one. I didn't get to ride it because it literally belonged to a customer, and they're like, dude, we can't put you on this. And I was like, that's fine, I understand. But I have been on their other like limited, their limited tune, limited modded versions, and they're pretty stinking quick. They're impressive. So that will be the next video after that. And then I know we've got, we've got the 2022 FX SVHO Limited. We've got the Riva Edition Superjet. We've still got the 3 mods for the RX PX 300 that we got to do. So, yes, Mark, you just heard me say it. So yeah, there's just a lot of just content coming. We can't get it out fast enough. I don't crap them out like every 3 days. Some guys just go, here you go, blah, blah, blah. I actually pay for music. I have a fantastic video editor named Adam Darnell, and we've been working with him for 3 years, and we just are enjoying making superior content. We want to really put out some good stuff for you guys. So, and then of course we're going to have new videos every week. We've got some really cool, quick topics coming up, and that's going to do us for the week. That's what's going on this week. I am not sure if we're going to have a live session next week. And the only reason being is that I'm going to be coming home from Bowling Green, Kentucky, from the Holly Mo Party, and that has nothing to do with jet skis. It is the Holly Performance Group Mopar event that they have at the Beach Bend Raceway, and our other magazine, Mopar Connection magazine, will have a tent. I'll have my 69 Charger on display. We're going to have a couple other cars on display. We're praying that it won't rain. Otherwise, my Charger is going to be out in the rain because the other guys aren't going to let me, are not going to kick me out, or they're going to kick me out of my own tent. But anyhow, we're going to have a tent there. I typically tear down the tent like noon, 1 o'clock on Sunday. This is only the second year. We did it last year. But if I make it home and I'm not totally sunburned and wiped out, then yeah, I'll do a live session. But I probably won't prepare anything. I'll just take questions and be like, what do you guys got? Okay. Don't buy supercharged. Buy naturally aspirated. Don't shallow start your skis. What else can I repeat ad nauseum? Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, but yeah, I'll give you guys an update. I will be doing an update on whether we're having a live session or not. You'll know on Friday or Saturday, and I'll put it up here on the YouTube channel. Okay, so why are we talking about future skis when the 2022s are out? I mean, Kawasaki's not even out yet officially. So it feels really premature to be talking about future stuff. But why it's important to talk about future stuff and to understand trajectory is to see where your current purchase is and what you're looking for in the future. And some guys are going to be like, hey, I'm going to hold out. I'm going to see what's going on. Or I just bought in 2021, or I just bought in 2022, and I'm not in the market for another 6 years or 7 years. So let's give you a little bit of corporate culture. Let's give you a little bit of corporate behavior. Typically, Yamaha and Sea-Doo rotate out their hulls every 8 to 9 years, typically 9 years. That has been kind of the going time frame. That being said, Yamaha did something unique in that they redesigned the top decks of their VX and GP line halfway through the lifespan. And in doing so, that's just not a little treat. That's not just a little like, hey guys, expect another hull or expect another totally ground up redesigned ski in the next 4 years. What that means is that they're prolonging the lifespan of that hull. They're pumping some more life into it. So theoretically, we might see 12 years, 14 years out of the GP/VX hull because it is the same hull shape. They're the same. It's the same mold. They just use different material. SMC fiberglass, Nano XL1, Nano XL2. For FX going to different material hasn't necessarily changed the mold. And the biggest concern is mold, because the molds are obscenely expensive. They're anywhere between $1.5 to $2 million a pop. So it's very important to consider that the manufacturer is not going to build something and drop $2 million willy-nilly. All right. They're not just going to go like, well, let's just redesign everything just for kicks and drop $2 million. It's not going to happen. All right. They're not going to spend the money. It's just a lot of money. That's a huge investment. So, in the case of Yamaha, I wholly expect the GP VX hull to survive at minimum 10 years. So 2025, you're going to see it pretty much be the same as you see it currently. That's 3 years away. And I really do see another 3 years of the GP and the VX just changing colors and graphics, and you're very likely to see the integration of the smaller FX HO dash in those skis. So you're going to see GPS and the phone interaction and the phone integration, I should say, and speaker integration. All the features that you've seen on the FX will likely make their way into the GPs and into the probably higher tier VXs. So like a VX Limited HO, VX Cruiser HO, that kind of stuff. Or just a hyper expensive option for those VXs and GPs. That might be a really premier option. I shouldn't say hyper expensive. That's bad marketing. But a more deluxe or a more premier, more exclusive, make you want it sort of option. So that is really for Yamaha where I see their trajectory going. They are very confident that the rec deck will also appear on the recreation segment. So a smaller rec deck or an adapted rec deck might show up on a limited, VX limited, or you could probably retrofit it for a GP, but they haven't come out with those hardware components yet. So there might be a different platform, but the demand for a VX rec deck is already there. The emails, the phone calls, the demands to dealerships, it's already there. And Yamaha's greatest assets are its dealers. And when the dealers come and grab them by the ears and shake their heads violently and say, you guys need a fishing watercraft, and you guys need a freestyle fun rec light ski, and you guys need this, and you guys need that, the Yamaha listens. They listen. They pay attention. So that's, they're already gauging the interest from the dealers and going, okay, well, that's our 2-year plan is a rec deck, or a 1-year plan is a rec deck and the gauge, high-level Connect system on the VXs. So I don't think, obviously not 22. I'd be hard-pressed for 23, but possibly 24, because I do expect this platform to survive till 26, 27. So that's how far we're going to see it. Now, will we see more performance? Will we see new engines? Will we see an electric Yamaha? I really do not see an electric Yamaha happening in the next 7 years. I really don't. The infrastructure isn't there. The development isn't there. And moreover, Yamaha has such good emissions and miles per gallon that they can get by with restricting the skis even more or working on efficiencies and getting that machine to a 4-star level, because they're currently 3-star. And this is all California CAFE carbon emission standards. It's kissing California's butt. That's it. Florida could care less. Texas could care less. Tennessee, dude, you could put a Cummins 18 valve in that. It doesn't matter. We don't care. But California is the one having a conniption fit. And they want to sell in California, so obviously they're not gonna jeopardize that. So got Yamaha out of the way. You're just not gonna see electric out of them. You're gonna see a full integration of those accessories that are on the FXs onto the VXs. You're going to see more accessories, just so many more accessories. I would say within the next 3 to 4 years, this is a really safe pocket to work in. Don't ask me about 28, 29. I can't tell you. But 24, 25, 2024, 2025, this is what we're looking at. You're looking down the barrel of that. So the 2022 FXs are pretty much done. They're done. As they are done for the next 4 years. They're, colors. I doubt they're going to change any sort of materials. Colors and decals, and maybe upgrades to the Connect system to allow you to do more maps and more integrations and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's kind of where we're looking at with Yamaha. Sea-Doo is a totally different creature. And Sea-Doo right now is looking at 600% more pre-orders than the previous year. 600%. That's bonkers. That's asinine. That sounds like a lie, but it's legit. Those numbers are real. And right now, the Sea-Doo switches, guys, they're going to sell every one of those damn boats. They're going to sell every switch. They're going to sell every switch. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, they're going to sell every switch. Every one of them. And we're all going to go, wow. You know, some doubting Thomases are going to be like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Some people are like, I totally get it. And I'm going to be somewhere in between. They're going to sell every one of those boats. They're going to sell every friggin' one of them. And this year, Sea-Doo's Yamaha's production is up. They've increased their production. Obviously, they had their problems last year, and that is a whole lot of extraneous circumstances. But this year, my understanding is, a lot of dealers, a lot of high volume dealers, their goals being set by their regional rep. Excuse me. Their goals that are being set by their regional reps, their projections, what they call them. They're up by a fifth. Either a sixth or a fifth. Because one dealer sold 200 Yamahas last year, and now their order for 22 is now 240. So, and they sold 170 Sea-Doos last year, and I think their order allotment is something like 220. So they're really expecting. I do not know the number. I do not know the quantity number, Brian. All I know is percentage. They don't typically talk about those hard numbers, but they will give you percentages. The only hard numbers, it's 600%. It's not 60, dude. Mitch, it's 600%. Over last year. And again, they just created a whole new line of boats. So it's apples to oranges. It's not even apples to oranges. It's apples to toaster ovens. It's totally different. Sea-Doo, BRP Sea-Doo is geared up to have just a rock and roll year. Unless the United States breaks out into full-blown civil war and we start divorcing states from each other, because that's what would happen if there was another COVID shutdown. Dude, I'm telling you, if 2022 goes unhindered, Sea-Doo is going to curb stomp this market. The pontoon market, watercraft market will be interesting. Watercraft market will be interesting, but because I'm getting some projections and I'm getting some numbers because people are really curious about the new Cowies, and there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope for the new Cowies, and then I got to share some inside baseball about that, which I think would be kind of fun. So anyway. Sea-Doo is coming in now. Mind you, I almost said there's no new Watercraft, and they've got three. They've got three instead of one Fish Pro. Whoops, wrong. Sea-Doo's not going to let anyone muscle in on the fishing market. They're gonna hold that hill like frickin' Theodore Roosevelt. They are going to hold that hill. And that'll be good because, and I'll tell you why. There is a market for jet ski fishing, and the American market is slowly getting on board. The Yanks are slowly getting on board with jet ski fishing. Australians, New Zealand, the Kiwis, the Aussies, South Africa, Indonesia. Holy crap. Jet ski fishing is just... Well, there's a primetime TV show in Australia for jet ski fishing. So we're way behind on that trend. I mean, we're way behind. So that's going to be something pretty wild. Everyone's kind of hoping for a horsepower war. I don't see the horsepower war happening for another 2 years, and I'll get into that. But I see a fishing war. I really do see a fishing war happening. And a lot of you guys are like, I don't care about fishing. I want to go fast. Okay, fine. But I see if Yamaha really wants to take it seriously, they're going to jump in and they're going to battle Sea-Doo, because Yamaha did not know the trophy was coming. I got that on good authority. The Yamaha guys are asking anyone who will listen to them, what do you think about the trophy? What do you think about the trophy? What have you seen it? Have you put your hands on it? What? Tell us about it. Tell us about it. The Yamaha guys are kind of pissing their pants. I shouldn't say that. That's not, nope. Strike that from the record. Nope. The Yamaha guys are interested in the trophy. The Yamaha guys, and there's a lot of Yamaha Australia from what I've heard. Take that for what it's worth. Was the Yamaha Australia guys were like, we want more info on this trophy. So they are very, very curious. They're very interested in that machine. So it'll be neat. We'll see. Hopefully there's a jet ski fishing war. I love to see that kind of competition. I love it. I think it brings the best out. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's see. Spark gets redesigned next year. We did a whole thing on what might be coming to Spark. And I'm not going to rehash it here, except for the fact that it could be very likely that you see a 1630 Ace in a Spark. 130 horsepower in a Spark with an extra 60 pounds. Okay, 60 pounds ain't going to break you. But that helps keep the top speed down. Because at 170 horse, it's a 63 mile an hour Spark. And that's a quick way to start murdering people. That's a quick way to start killing your clients. And you don't want to do that. That's bad PR. So possible 130 horse, possible 1630 Ace redesigned Spark. That happens, dude. The wreck light wars are on. That'd be really cool. Now I'll have to circle back onto Sea-Doo after I talk about Cowie. So Cowie gets revealed the first week of October. That is everything that I have been told. Not officially. They have not given us a date. They have not said, set your calendar. But they have said, the first week of October is when we learn about the new Ultras, the new 310 Ultras. Horsepower should be the same. There's no 315 or 313 or 330 or whatever. It's a 310. They don't need to go higher. They're still the king of horsepower. Hey, Jeff, thank you for the super chat. Jeff writes, I was lost before finding Watercraft Journal. Thank you for all the advice and valuable info. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. So Cowie's looking at a thumb lever brake. I have had someone tell me it could be on the left-hand side. If it is on the left-hand side, I would much prefer it. I would really not like to see the brake and the throttle be both on the right-hand side. But that being said, that has been the blueprint. The blueprint has shown both the throttle and the thumb being on the right-hand side, and it all being here. So, Muppets. Near, far, near. Okay, sorry. So we're going to see a brake. We're going to see the Ninja. We're going to see a version of the Kawasaki infotainment system that's on the Ninja motorcycles. Full color, multiple screens, GPS. That has been pretty much confirmed. That's going to be I'm not sure about a depth finder. Pretty unlikely to do a depth finder. He retracted the statement. Sorry, Chris. That was funny. But so that's going to be that's going to really bring Cowie up quite a bit. Now here's why I'm interested in the Cowie. The Kawasaki has electric trim. Kawasaki has cruise control. Kawasaki has eco mode. Kawasaki has no wake mode already. Kawasaki's got trim control. Kawasaki's got pretty decent sound system. Kawasaki's got the most horsepower out of anyone, fly-by-wire throttle control. Kawasaki has one of the best open circuit cooling systems currently. Internal operating temperature on the Cowies now, 2017 when they changed the pistons. So 2017 and up, one of the best. They operate anywhere from 5 to 20 degrees cooler than the Sea-Doos. So that's interesting. But here's the problem, is that the Cowie is just sucking down fuel, and it's sucking and it's doing that primarily because of its boost levels. Peak PSI boost on the Kawasaki is 16.7. That's 16.7 PSI in each piston. Sea-Doo stock is 9. No, it's 11. I think it's 11. And the Yamaha peaks at like 9.8 or 9.7, some weird number like that. So the Cowie is absolutely just shoving compression down the gullet of that engine. That's why they make 310 horsepower. That's why it comes on so damn hard. But I don't think you're going to find a way for the Cowie to I don't think you're going to find a way for that Cowie to get real fuel friendly. So the 22s are scheduled to come out in a few weeks. All right. Today's the 12th. Yeah, we're probably 3.5 weeks away. So that's where we're looking at with Kawasaki's Ultras. Here's what happens when Ultra shows up with all this stuff. Let's say you got an Ultra, as I described it, on a stand, on a rolling cart, in a showroom floor, up against an RXTX 300 and an FX SVHO. And I'm your salesman. No reverse lever. It's going to have a brake. Brake and reverse. Brake and reverse. You hold it down, you go backwards. Brake and reverse. Okay. So let's say those 3 skis are lined up at the dealership and I'm your salesman. All right. You come to me and you go, Kevin, which one should I get? I go, well, all depends on what your interests are. And you go, well, I want Cowie needs more displacement. Yeah. Now they're behind. They're behind Sea-Doo, and now they're behind Yamaha. No, that's a fair point. You know what, Scott? That's a fair point. All they really need to do is up the compression. Up the compression and change the cams. They have the camshafts. Everyone puts the naturally aspirated cams in the Cowie, and all of a sudden it's a scalded dog. It's unreal. Dude. But anyway, so he will say buy the naturally aspirated. All right. So, Mark, you're gonna have to wait for my long-term review on that one. I haven't hit 30 yet. I've been too damn busy. I've been writing other stuff. I've had all the 22s coming out. When do I get the time to ride it? And I don't ride on weekends because I'm not an idiot. Ugh. I hate riding on weekends. But of course, that's my job is jet skis, so I ride during the week. So not everyone can do that. All right. So let's say we're sitting on the showroom floor of Cycle Springs or Broward or Riva or something like that. And I'm standing there, and you guys come to me and you go, okay, which one would you pick? And it's like, all right, well, let's talk about what matters to you most. All right. Do they have GPS? Yes, all 3 have GPS. Great. Do they have a GPS speedometer? Yes, all 3 have a GPS speedometer. All right, are they all supercharged? They are all supercharged. What's the horsepower? That one makes 310. That one makes 300. That one makes 250, but it will peak at 280 for a split second, but it'll go just as fast as these guys. Oh, okay. Well, I guess they can do less with more. All right. So then you say, well, how much fuel do these skis hold? Well, the Cowie holds 21. I'm rounding up. 20.6. Sea-Doo is 18.5. Yamaha is 18.5. Oh, okay. Well, how much do they weigh? Well, the Cowie outweighs everyone by about 80 pounds. Oh, really? Yeah, it's an 80-pound weight difference. Oh, okay. Well, why is it heavier? Well, that one's pretty stout. All right, that's going to absorb all the bumps. That one's going to cut through chop way better. Everyone knows that's the offshore hull. That's a big bad daddy right there. Well, how about the FX? Well, the FX is really good. Hey, listen, the guys racing offshore, they all like Yamaha FXs. They all haul butt with the Yamaha FX. Oh, okay. How about the Sea-Doo? Not a single person races that hull offshore. Not one? Nope. Not in the U.S. Really? Not one? No, sir, not one. That seems weird. No, that's pretty telling. Oh, okay. Well, good point. What's the comfort level? Ergo lock on the Sea-Doo is the best one there is. Oh, okay. They all have tilt steering. Okay. Well, where are you going to ride? Are you going to ride on a lake? No, I'm offshore. Oh, you're going to ride in the ocean? Yeah. Well, Cowie might be the right choice for you. Well, how much storage is there? Oh, it's got quite a bit of storage. Really? Actually, it's got the most storage of any personal watercraft. It's got 60 gallons of storage. 60 gallons? Yeah, you could put like a 10-year-old in the front bin. It's that big. Well, how's the glove box? Well, it's got a waterproof glove box in there, and it's got room for some. Well, we have yet to see how they've redesigned the glove box, but I've heard things. So, anyway, lined up, all these machines lined up suddenly become very, very competitive. They become very competitive, and you suddenly go, well, shoot, what can I do with it? How am I going to ride it? Where am I going to, what's my application? Kawasaki, because of the technology gap, was really far behind. But now it's like, hey, it's got brakes and reverse. It's a thumb style instead of a little trigger. Oh, okay, cool. Tilt steering, all the other bells and whistles. It's all there. Sea-Doo has, Sea-Doo has the added features of center storage. You can pop the whole thing up and reach into your front, into your center bucket. But that's all the storage you got. So what have you heard about the Ultra Glove Box, Kevin? These teases suck. It's gonna have a little waterproof case for your phone, and it should have 2 cup holders, or you shouldn't lose. It's still gonna have the immobilizer key, and it should have a waterproof cover over the top of it. That's basically it, Chris. Cool your jets. So anyway, being that hyper competitive, what's going to be the big separator between these machines is that big fat freaking number printed on the side of the boat. 310, 300, no number on the Yamaha. Okay, don't get me wrong. Sea-Doo, you got the link rack, and you can put a cooler and all the cool accessories and ergo lock, but you know what? I mean, unless Sea-Doo really pulls a rabbit out of their hat and they drop the price, and the RX TX 300 somehow comes in under an Ultra, I see the Ultra snaking a lot of freaking sales from both Yamaha and Cowie. And I'll tell you why it's really telling. A couple weeks ago, I had a representative from one of the major brands get real huffy when I did an article, or I did some content on the new Sea-Doos. And no, I saw Sea-Doo. I was talking about the new Cowies. I was talking about all the teases about the Cowies. And this rep, who I won't say what company, he goes, Kevin, no one gives a about Kawasaki. Okay. Well, the problem is that my inner punk rock 22-year-old goes, well, screw you, dude. I'm gonna be the biggest cheerleader for Kawasaki ever, just to spite you. Obviously, I'm not, but my antagonistic side kind of was like, dude, what's your problem? You're doing fine. Don't worry about Cowie. Let Cowie do their thing. They got 8% of the market share. You're fine. Your job isn't in question. Let them try to succeed. So I just have to laugh, because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm gonna reach, or if I'm gonna get such kind of vitriol from a company that's really doing fine, then I'm like, all right, well, game on. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna tell you right now. Come hell or high water, as a punk rock 22-year-old, I approve of your Kawasaki shilling. That's pretty funny. One of us. I was racing Cowies before you were born. I'm old, guy. Anyways, jeez, I'm pretty damn sure I'm getting one of these. I'm pretty sure they've teased me, and when they tease me, they know they got me on a hook. And I'm like, oh crap. So I don't think I can get a Cowie, one of these new ones, until probably April or May, which is going to kill me, having reported on them 6 months earlier. But I'm hoping that I'm able to go to Lincoln to the Nebraska plant and watch them be built. But again, we'll see. I don't know. Everything's up in the air, and I'm being very, very honest here. I don't have one hiding in the garage. I'm not being, Anyway, I'm just saying. But I am very interested to see how this thing. Anyway, I'm just saying. But I am very interested to see how this thing is executed. I really, really, really want to see how this thing is executed. All right, so Cowie, this is their big play. This year is their big play. I don't see a lot. Excuse me. I don't see a lot of moves coming out of Cowie in the next 4 years, 5 years after this. I really don't. Everything's going to last at minimum a decade. So I don't see a new Cowie hull, or Ultra hull. There's no information on that. There's really no reason to. Excuse me, guys. So this is their big play. If there's updates to the dash, great. There might be. Well, here's where I'm teasing about the horsepower war. Is that Sea-Doo doesn't like to play second fiddle to anyone. They don't. Sea-Doo has a corporate culture in there that is absolutely. Listen, we'll let everyone do their thing. You guys play along. That's great. You want to make a break and reverse, cool. You want to make a fishing version, that's cool too. But I tell you right now, no one's going to try to pull ahead of us. They have let Cowie be unabated as the horsepower king since 2014. They're not terribly concerned. And the only way that Sea-Doo is going to get concerned is when dealers start saying, hey, this Ultra's got everything you guys got and 10 more horse. And then there's this damn ginger online talking about these Cowies and how badass they are. And now we can't sell a Sea-Doo. Sorry. So anyway, that's a potential. And if that happens, if suddenly the world goes, hey, we're going green, guys, we're going Cowie, you'll see Sea-Doo pop up with a 330 horsepower RXPX and RXTX. Guaranteed. The minute that the spotlight is pulled off of Sea-Doo, it's guaranteed they're going to go 330 horse. So it works in our favor if we want to play the game, everyone here, that we start making noise about, once this new Cowie comes out, start making a bunch of noise going, well, hey, holy crap, this thing's trick. Suddenly, dealers start getting nervous and dealers start making phone calls to the OEs, and the OEs go, are we in a horsepower war again? Do we need to do this again? Because that's how it happens. This is how it happens, guys. If you want to incite a war, this is going to get me flagged. That line alone is going to get me flagged on YouTube. If you want to incite a horsepower war, this is how you do it. If you want Sea-Doo and Yamaha to get into a horsepower war with Kawasaki, this is how you do it. So I'm just saying, everyone here has their own Twitter or their own Facebook or their own Instagram or their own Google account or whatever. And all you have to do is make noise. That's it. Make noise so that the dealers and the social media types pick up on it. It's very, very easy. Wars and rumors of wars. Well, start some rumors. That's all there is to it. So that's pretty much all I got for expectations. I know a lot of people are curious whether Kawasaki will finally give some love to the naturally aspirated Ultra, the Ultra LX. That's a conversation that I've had and I will be having again, and just screaming at them, going like, you guys can't continue ignoring this market. You can't. You have to service this market. These guys want all the features available through an Ultra, but without the gas guzzling supercharger. Why on earth aren't you making this? Why don't you care? Because Yamaha literally butters their bread with the HO engine. I mean, every FX HO, every FX Cruiser HO, every VX Cruiser, every VX Cruiser HO, blah, 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 blah. They absolutely own the long-distance, comfortable cruising market. Sea-Doo needs to kind of throw some love at the GTX 170 and make like the GTX. I thought it'd be really cool because GTX means Grand Touring, or Gran Turismo, but, they're not racing Le Mans. But as I say it with a snobby French accent, Le Mans. But the GTX Grand Tour or GTX Tour or whatever you want to call it, that needs to happen. They need to totally plus out a GTX 170 and push it towards the cruisers. And I think they do just fine. So that's really kind of the biggest hole in the market for Cowie is that Ultra. And that's really kind of what's going on with oh, that's funny. So, okay. That's really kind of what I got on the whole prediction thing is we're really going to see full integration of a lot of bells and whistles. GTI might start seeing a reduced iteration of the tech package. Whether a GPS dash will be available on a GTI anytime soon remains to be seen. The demand is there. Oh, FX HO and FX SVHO. Someone had commented about the 5-inch dash on the HO and the 7-inch dash on the SVHO. They'll correct that. There's enough backlash and demand that Yamaha will be like, fine, you can have the big dash on the HO. It'll happen. So just give it some time. But we got a super chat from Grant. Is there a rule of thumb for weight to speed ratio? One rider weighs 200 pounds and one weight is at 150 pounds. All things being equal, what would be the speed difference? Power to weight ratio depends on the ski, depends on the model, depends on the altitude. Too many factors. I know you're you snotty redheaded ginger Frenchman. Scott, I don't know why Scott. I had to approve Scott's comment. That was really funny. I'll be the first to make fun of myself. So whatever. I don't see any more super chats. So if I don't see any more super chats, we're gonna go through some questions and then, I'm gonna try to tap out of here early, guys. If we can get 100 likes, I'll hang out a little bit longer, but otherwise, I'm gonna probably button this one up at a quarter after. If we don't get 100 likes by the hour, I think I'll probably just trim this one because I'm wiped out. Okay. Chris says, I told him you said anyone can install this long hauler kit, and he goes, you're making me regret that comment. No, Chris is making me eat my words that it's foolproof. All right. Let's see here. Oh, guys, I want to read something. Let me read an email. This week's been kind of a tough week. We had a pretty significant loss in our family, and we had a lot of things going on, it's just been kind of a tough week, and I hate to say it, but I have been like drinking from the fire hose with a lot of questions. Which I love the questions and the guys asking for advice. Please don't think I'm ungrateful for it, but it was just like a really hard week. And I just got this email, and I want to read this email, and I want to thank him for it publicly. Greg writes, "Sir, I recently found your YouTube channel and webpage while doing research for personal watercraft. My fiance and I are looking to buy for next season, our wedding present to ourselves, actually. We've never owned one before. Your pages are a wealth of knowledge and experience, and a lot of information is truly helpful, so thank you. Actually, the only issue I'm having is trying to sort through the many videos you have for information I'm looking for. Not that it's really a problem. So thank you for all that you have clearly done as far as putting information out there. I also want to take a minute to thank you on a personal note. I watched one of your videos and you stopped and paused to thank someone for their service just because their avatar said USMC, United States Marine Corps. For that there alone, I will do my best to support you and your pages. That was special for me. I served in the military prior to coming home, where I now work as a fire marshal and volunteer as a firefighter. My fiance is a paramedic. So thank you for how you reacted to that individual and your general attitude and demeanor. You seem like a truly stand-up guy who loves what he's doing. Sorry for the lengthy message, but it's important to give credit where credit is due. So thank you. Sincerely, Greg." Now, Greg, as you can tell, I'm trying not to cry. So that really meant a lot to me. That email makes it worth it. Makes this worth it. I'm not a rich guy, I don't have a lot of money. But I love what I do, and I drive the same beat up Dodge I bought my first year working for Hot Rod Magazine. I can't get rid of that truck. It's treated me too good. Got a lot of other toys, but a lot of you guys here make a lot more money than I do. You're out buying toys that I get to play with. I don't own. So I really want to thank you guys. I want to thank Greg for that email. I've gotten emails like that from other people too. I did get to peruse the post that our team put up. Has Kevin helped you in buying a jet ski? And the compliments have been phenomenal. They've been really, really great. So I want to thank you guys. So yeah, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate your gratitude. It is appreciated. It is acknowledged. So thank you. All right. Grant Lasoy says, "Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. BNN. You're a good man. Thank you, sir. That's very nice of you for the super chat. Thank you, BNN. All right. So Grant writes, Kevin, considering purchasing an FXHO, however, a dry ride is important to me. Can you speak to how much wetter of a ride a 2022 FX is compared to a GTX? Unable to test drive, supply shortage. Also, I really like Link. Best way to easily attach an ice chest to an FX. When I test drove the GTX, I loved it, except for when I was over 30 miles per hour, I running at 40 plus. Okay, so FX differences. Differences between the 21 and early, 19 to 21, and then 22 and up is attitude, all right? Pretend this is your jet ski. Here's your bow. Here's your transom. Attitude, as I drop my pen. Attitude is where the ski naturally sits in the water. Prior to 2022, the attitude of the FX was pointed down. The reason they pointed it down was to purposely slow it down. It was too stinking fast. They used a ride plate on the back to force the nose down. Well, that just shoves all the water over the nose. In 2022, I did a whole video on it. They changed the ride plate, which forces the attitude up. Actually, it's not as drastic. It's just barely above neutral. All right? Significantly drier ride. It's a very well-handling hull. It's one of my favorites. It's really one of my favorite hulls. I mean, really. I'm not exaggerating. It's great. Inside lean for a 3-seater is outstanding. Tracking through rough water is great. The SMC fiberglass change is night and day. Holy cow, we had a bunch of super chats come in. Holy cow. Okay, I'll get to those in a second. Let me finish Grant's question. So 21 to 22, ride plate, big difference. Hull, bigger difference. So you could probably get a good deal on a 21 and earlier model. Some people trading in, some people selling, whatever it might be, an unsold unit. You might get a really smoking deal on it. And if that's the case, depending on how big your cooler is, you could do a variety of things. You could take 2 ratchet straps from the toe eye, wrap it down the outside of the cooler to the toe eyes on the back, and just have 2 straps, and then you're done. Okay, that's the cheap junkyard, Sanford and Son version of doing it. You could get yourself a rack, and you could go to Cool PWC stuff. You could go to any one of these rack manufacturers who make a rack that is designed for your hull, for the transom, for the back of your ski, for the swim platform of your ski, and then find a cooler that fits, and you could be out the door that way. Or you could drop some serious cash through Yamaha, and you could get the rec deck, and you could get the cooler kit that they've got, which is basically their one of their fishing setups, and use that big, awesome cooler, and you're off to the races. So you've got gradients of how well you want to scale it, okay? You could really run up the gamut of how much you want to spend on attaching a cooler onto the FX. But if you like the link system, because the link system is very convenient, all right? It's incredibly convenient. The cooler holds what? Is it 5 gallons? Someone please correct me. But I think the cooler holds about close to 5 gallons. It's not very deep. If you want to stand up a soda can, you're going to have to get those little shorties. Otherwise, you're laying all your drinks down and shoving ice in there. But link is very easy. Pop, goes on. Snap the lock on. You're done. The GTX hull, which is the ST3 hull, the center storage is incredibly convenient. Incredibly convenient. Excuse me. The gas filler neck, super convenient location. Ergonomics, the best. Nothing beats the Sea-Doo ergonomics. Nothing beats the Sea-Doo ergonomics. Nothing beats the Sea-Doo ergonomics. Nothing. All right? Nothing. But hull design leaves, for myself, and what I've suggested, a little bit to be desired. The way to correct that is the Riva Pro Series sponsons. I believe they're about $700. Is that correct? Somebody correct me on the price on that too. You might get you'll get a discount through Green Hulk, like 10% off. But the Pro Series sponsons set to number 4 and the intake rate. And you do that, and your GTX will be demonstrably better. Demonstrably better. So that's really up to you. I prefer the hull of the Ultra. I like the convenience of the Sea-Doo. I love the ergonomics of the Sea-Doo. Love the ergonomics of the Sea-Doo. I'm not terribly inhibited or intimidated, for that matter, on strapping down a cooler to the back of a Watercraft. That there's a lot of ways to skin that cat. So, guys, hopefully that answers your question, Grant. I've got some monster super chats that I need to address. Holy cow, guys! Thank you very much. We appreciate you, brother. Thomas, wow, Thomas, you've helped my wife and I get a Wake Pro 230 and this year an RXTX 300. Wish you health and prosperity. Hope this helps. Guys, I really hope I didn't come off desperate. That was not my intent. I was just saying I love what I'm doing, and emails like that make it all worthwhile. And you guys doing this makes that incredibly worthwhile. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, let's move back up. All right. There's no way I'm getting through all these. We still haven't hit 100. All right. We need a video of your charger and you ticking off that Prius Fiesta. Oh, that guy was. Yeah, we have a little Antifa kid floating around here. All right. Do you recommend Riva sponsons on the 2022 GP 1800? You're not going to go wrong. I'll tell you what, dude. Putting those sponsons on the GP is equivalent of putting really sticky tires on a sport bike. Does that make sense? You pay the money to put some really good tires on a sport bike, ain't nobody going to touch you. All right? So consider that. Mr. Toybox, can you please reach out to Sea-Doo about, is there an issue with adding the swim platform to the Switch Compact Sport? Legal issues with performance. The 2-foot. I actually asked about that. And what's funny is that physically there's no difference. There's no physical difference to keep you from putting that platform on the tail of a 13-foot Switch. So the reason why they don't, I think the reason why they don't is that they want you to buy a bigger boat. That's really it. I think they just want it to be a deluxe item. So I had asked about it, and they just kind of were like, it's only on the 16 and 19. So that's not a very good question, or a very good answer to your question, but that's what I got. All right. I don't think there's a legal issue. I don't think there's a performance issue. Oh no. There's a reason. There's a reason. I got a really good reason for this. Okay. Believe it or not, the 13-foot is not 13 foot. It's like 2 inches below 13 feet. It's like 12, 10 or something like that. And I'll tell you why. Because at 13 feet, legally, per the Coast Guard, that vessel has to have a catalytic converter and have to have catalytic emissions. And the 13-foot the 13-foot switches do not have catalytic converters on them. That's why they don't have them on there. That's why. I totally forgot about that. Okay, I hope that answers your question, because I pulled that one out of left field, and I'm so glad I remembered that one. Wow. I can't remember my wedding anniversary, but I remember catalytic converters on 13 foot and above boats. Oh my gosh, I can't believe my wife hasn't left me. All right, I already talked about that. I don't have a definite date for the Kawasaki's, and no, Kawasaki does not have a rec light in mind. What's interesting is that I actually talked to Ken Essex. No. What's his name? I forgot the head of the Watercraft division for Kawasaki. When I test rode the SXR 1500, I'm like, guys, where's your spark? And they laughed and like, well, we got them. He's like, we got a couple Sparks, we got a couple EXs in the warehouse. And I was like, well, okay, great, make one. And they're like, well, you know, and I was like, fine, then just take the hull from the SXR and make an X2. And he kind of lit up and was like, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? I'm like, yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. Make that ski. Holy cow, guys, we got some super chats like crazy here. Anthony writes, thanks for the towing tips from last week. Made it 1,000 miles doing 60, 75 miles an hour. Cover was secure, didn't go anywhere. Towels on the sides. Link slot was open and strap on the rear. No issues. Good. Hot dog. I love to hear that. Glad to hear that, Anthony. What upgrades? Okay, Ed writes. Ed sent in a super chat. What upgrades do you recommend I do to my brand new FX SVHO Limited I just received? I presume it's a 21. And if that's the case, ride plate. Ride plate. Ride plate. Riva ride plate. You can take it. You can get a Jim's plate, but here's the reason why. Okay, people ask, "Oh, you're just up Riva's. You know, you're up Riva's butt. You love Riva." I'm like, okay, well, let me explain. Hopefully, this makes sense. I understand. Billy's here. Billy's here. Hopefully, Billy gets my Norm from Cheers reference. Everyone, Billy's here. Everyone, say hi to Billy. Billy's our Norm. Everyone's got to say hi, Billy. All right. So he's gonna be like, wow, dude. Holy crap. Anyhow, hey Billy, everyone. Good. I want to hear it. I want this to be Cheers. This is gonna be he's gonna be my Norm. All right. So that's funny. Okay. So here's why I recommend a Riva ride plate over modifying a ride plate. Most people hang on to a jet ski for about 4 to 6 years. That is typically the lifespan of ownership. I mean, obviously, some people are like, I've had mine for 20 years, whatever. Okay, fine, I understand. But the turnaround on a jet ski is anywhere from 4 to 6 years. That's what I've been told. And most people want to get as much money out of their sale, out of their ski as possible. And the way to do that is the closer to stock, the better. The closer the ski is to stock, the more money you're going to get. If you show up and this thing's been repainted and he's painted it funky colors and he's got a funny seat on it and he's cut up this and taken a hole saw and put dual exhaust on it and blah, 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 you're going to be like, oh, this thing's a freaking basket case. I don't want to buy this thing because I don't trust whoever built this thing. I want it stock, right? Right. So if you have an FX Limited SVHO, what I recommend is you buy a Riva ride plate. You buy the Riva sponsons too. Intake rate would be great. But the ride plate's going to get the nose out of the water. And it's going to free up some power. It's going to free up some speed. And it's not going to be such a wet ride. So the Riva ride plate, all you have to do is you unbolt your factory ride plate, pull the ride plate down, and put it on a shelf in your garage. And you put your Riva ride plate on and go enjoy the heck out of it. And if you reflash it, you can reflash it. And guess what? With a Map Tuner X from Riva Racing, when the time comes for you to step up to a new ski, you plug in your Map Tuner, you put it back to box stock, and you put your box stock ride plate back on, and you detail it, and a guy shows up and he's like, "This thing's cherry. How many hours on it?" "Oh, I put 100 hours on it." You're like, "Yeah, but it looks brand new." "What'd you do to it?" "Nothing. It's all stock." Great. And you get big cash for it. So that's why I recommend a Riva ride plate over sending your plate off to be cut or sending your ECU off to be reflashed. That's why. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Jonathan writes, would you say a PWC with over 100 hours is a lot, especially if the owner keeps up with the maintenance? What do you consider a lot of hours for a ski? Depends if it's a supercharged or naturally aspirated ski. Depends on what brand. 100 hours on an FXHO, not a lot. 100 hours on an RXPX that all the decals have been peeled off and it's got a HydroTurf seat and it's got a through-a-hole exhaust, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. All right? Hopefully that answers. All righty. Now I got to scroll all the way up because we had so many super chats. Saltwater Life writes, Mitch, I got distracted by Mitch's comment. I'm not going to read it out loud, but he had a good comment. The first oil change on my GP 1800R 2021, the manual says 3.7 quarts, but the oil level indicator is between the two dots. Any suggestion? Well, listen, definitely don't overfill it. Don't overfill your engine. You're better off underfilling your engine than overfilling. All right? Because the oil you're using has a really good bond. You'll be better off. I mean, I don't recommend underfilling. Don't mistake what I'm saying. But I would keep it. I would go off your indicator more than your manual, and I'll tell you why. It might be really, really hard to get all the oil out of your engine. And if you don't get all the oil out of your engine, your new oil is just going to pour on top of it. So don't sit there and force 3.7 in and go, I did what the manual said. And then you're like, I got 5 quarts of oil in my engine. Kaboom. And that's how you murder your motor. So I would go off the dipstick more than anything else. What was the old commercial? Yeah, using your dipstick, Jimmy. Use your dipstick. All right. Or think it with your dipstick. You got to think with your dipstick, Jimmy. All right. Thomas. Thomas. Dude. Okay. Riva intake and sponsons on a Wake Pro 230. Worth it. Sponsons, yes. Intake rate. If you're willing to spend the money, yes. Sponsons, 100%. I'm doing my Katharine Hepburn. John, hey. Yeah, no, 100%. Get the sponsons on it. Yes, make sure your ski is level when you're checking your oil. Very good. Yeah, I would definitely do the sponsons. Intake rate, you can take it or leave it, but the sponsons make a huge difference. And set them at 4. Number 4. 3 is good. 4 is better. 5 is a little too aggressive on the ST3 hull. 4 on the RXPX. Guys, did I tell you what happened? I almost got ejected for the first time in probably 10 years off the RXPX doing a full throttle hairpin with those Riva sponsons set at 4. That thing bit so damn hard, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Yeah, it really beat me up. That was Doesn't Riva sell dual exhaust for CDs? They do. I don't recommend it. I know, Dave. I'm going to get an angry email from Dave, but I think I sell enough sponsons and other parts. How many videos have I done on oil catch cans? Right? I love my Yamaha, but really don't like the trend towards plastic top decks and automotive paint. I may consider the Kawasaki for my next purchase, especially if they stick to gel coat paint and fiberglass. They ain't changing. They're not going to be changing to plastic anytime soon. They're not going to be changing to some magic formula. It's going to be SMC fiberglass. So you don't have to worry about that, Zach. All right. Christopher writes, we are in Trinidad. Need to be able to purchase directly too. My jet ski trend is blowing up in the islands. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how to get that's way beyond my pay grade. I don't know, guys. I don't know about getting skis out to you. Was out enjoying my 2021 GP 1800R HO today until an RX PX 300 demonstrated what an extra 120 horsepower can do. Yeah, well, the only thing an RX PX can't pass is a gas station. So, all right. Zachary writes, the Switch will wipe the floor with the pontoon market. Most pontoon boat manufacturers charge $40K for a boat with no engine and then $110 per horsepower for an outboard motor. Ooh, scary. Engine question for you, Kevin. When there are two identical motors with simply different tunes, all other things equal, will the lower horsepower engine have better longevity? I reason no. Because all engines are typically overbuilt. They're typically built. This is typical. I'm using the word typical. Are typically overbuilt. So they're designed to meet a certain threshold of wear, of use of the torque curve. There's certain parameters that these engines are built with. So the tune, I don't think the tune really plays a big factor, because you're really not seeing major RPM differences. If you were to tell me that a 130 horse maxes out at 5,000 RPM and a 170 horse maxes out at 6,000 RPM, I go, okay, well, there's a difference of 1,000 RPM. There's potential wear, but it would be minute. So I really do not. I mean, I think that's hair splitting. Yeah, I really think that's hair splitting, especially when it's a difference of a tune. All right, let's see if we got some more questions. Am I the only person who thinks a supercharged engine is just too much damn motor for a jet ski? Sucks too much gas. Well, the problem is that a lot of people don't respect it. That's my concern. Is a lot of people do not respect what 300 horsepower on the water is like. And they are not prepared for what pinning the bars at wide open throttle will do on a Sea-Doo or on a Cowie or on a Yamaha. They're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. And you went out and you dropped big coin on a 300 horse RX PX or whatever. And that's the problem. That's my biggest problem, is that it's a loaded gun and there's people who are jumping in head first into the shallow end. Does that analogy make sense? Okay. Let's see here. Saltwater Life. Did the first oil change on my? Oh, I already did that one. Sorry. Kevin, I emailed Kawasaki telling them to build an STXR. Do you think there might be something unexpected on the Ultras? Example, new supercharger, fishing accessories, or something like that. Max, good question. Nice thing is that I have friends at Eaton. All my rear ends. That's weird statements to make in a jet ski magazine or a jet ski video channel. I build muscle cars, and I build a lot of rear housing differentials, rear ends, and the two Dana 60s and the 8 3/4. I've built. Oh my gosh. Dana 60 in the Charger, Dana 60 in the Super B, 8 3/4, 9-inch in the Dart. Did another Dana. We're all using Eaton True Track, limited slip, sure grip, posi traction, posi carriers. You Chevy guys, posi carriers. the Dodge name for a posi is a sure grip. So I use Eaton, and Eaton lets me know about fun stuff that they're cooking up. So far, no changes to the engine or powertrain. I don't think we're going to see much in the accessory market. So I really don't see. I really don't see like a fishing Cowie come out. Broke the latch on my 2021 GP glove box. Not the best design in my opinion. I babied it and it still broke. Yamaha should redesign it. Jason, that was something that Jerry Gaddis, Greg Gaddis, and myself brought up. And they kind of were like, oh, how dare you? Yeah, it was kind of weird. They really got defensive about it. And I'm like, dude, it's literally a piece of molded plastic that goes like the letter J. All right. Let's see here. Rode a Cowie finally the other day in the rough, 310X, and I still rather have my FX SVHO. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's funny, Jason. Jason writes, I dust by the Ultra 310 on my GP and 2-foot chop. It really is not a great ski to be compared to the Big Two. Well, first, I'm not comparing it to the GP or the RXPX. I'm comparing it to the FX and the RXTX. That difference matters. And here's the other problem. I don't trust drag races. I don't trust because I don't know how much fuel was in the Cowie. I don't know what his trim was set at. I don't know what your trim was set at. There's too many factors. I know what professional riders can do on an Ultra. And that's what I compare. I know there are trusted racers out there, professional athletes, who I know would sooner cut off their right nut than lose. And these dudes know how to ride. I don't know if your buddy was giving it his all. I just don't. So I can't condone that drag race. I can't. I can't morally do it. So I apologize. Mitch writes, I pre-ordered a 2022 FX Cruiser HO the day of the announcement. Yamaha isn't going to use an old Nano Excel hull or 2021 ride plate instead of the new stuff on the first 2022s, are they? I think you messaged me before. Ethically, they shouldn't. Ethically, they shouldn't. Will they? I can't imagine they would. I think those were errors. I think the transom plate and the supercharger clutch holdover stuff that happened with the GPs were errors. I don't think it was them trying to pull a fast one. I really don't. Because they busted their butt to try to correct that. And they spent a lot of money. I don't think it was them trying to be cute and just get stuff off the shelf. I really do believe them when they say it was a manufacturing error. And the part numbers were messed up. And they assembled them with the previous year's parts. I have to take them at their word. I have to take Yamaha at their word. And I think that's fair. All right. Frenetic. I'm a doofus. Okay, frenetic. I like it. Frenetic, like frenetic, but tech. Frenetic. Frenetic writes, hey, Kevin, I love the show. We are planning to order a 2022 GTI 170 and trailer in November. Any harm or benefit in paying cash in full now, or should I deposit and pay the rest on delivery? I would not. I would never pay up full or up front for anything ever in my life. Ever. I don't trust anyone. Guys. Don't. Pay for it in full when you collect it, if you can. Do not pay up front. Please. I'm not going to make comments about dealerships. I'm not going to make comments about anything. I have trust issues. I was hurt. I don't know. I'm just going to say, don't. All right. What do you think the new Spark Hull will be like? No idea. Will Yamaha stand still, or will they make a switch competitor? Very highly doubt it. Very highly doubt it. They do have a pontoon boat. They do have some other stuff, but their jet boat, their ski boats, their jet boats. If they make an affordable jet boat, that's a good question. I just don't see it, dude. Yamaha owns over 80% of the jet boat market. 80 minimum. Dude, it's a monopoly. It's a monopoly. They own it. All right. Mopar guys always gravitate towards horsepower. Keep talking, Cowie. Hey, let's see. Will the camera let me do this? You guys get to see the dog door. I want to move this over. Can I move this up? Here, we're going to do something. Here we go. All right, that's my garage. Stay put. That's my Charger. That's the car I've been talking about nonstop. That's my 69 Charger. I can't carry the camera in, YouTube will cut us off. All right, I just wanted to show it. And then those are all my kids' bikes hanging up on the wall. We can do a live session from inside my garage one day. I know I've done it before. All right, let's bring this back. All right. I'm just being goofy. I'm showing off my stupid car. I was supposed to sign off 2 minutes ago. All right. Is it true about this channel and Kevin? Oh, it is true about this channel and Kevin. Without this info, it would be very frustrating for bunches of new buyers for sure. Oh, well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Thank you. First live will definitely be back, sir. Can't wait. Oh, Greg, are you the one who wrote the email? You're the guy. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Kevin, does the Jet Blaster have the same exhaust as the EXR? I believe so, yes. I believe so. I haven't checked part numbers, but I believe so. Could I benefit from a ride plate on my RX TX 300? You cannot change the ride plate on your CD because your ride plate is your heat extractor. That's where all your coolant runs through. So what I recommend is the sponsons and intake grate for the RX TX. All right. '87 octane, no ethanol, or 93 octane ethanol gas, GP HO. You can run 87 all day long on an HO. Ethanol or non-ethanol. Yeah, it'll run fine. Yeah, HO, dude. You can. That's the benefit of the HO. Run 87. Totally. John French. Always appreciate your advice. Thanks so much for what you do. I appreciate that, John. That's great. Oh, we got some super chats. We got some supers. I have Trevor. His thumbnail is a Scat Pack with the shaker. Cool. All right. Hey, yo, Mikey. What's up, Kevin? All right, Mitch writes, Kevin, what do I have to do in order to get a 7-inch screen on? You can't get it. You can't get it. They won't let you. You can't order it. You can't. I'm sure some dude will be happy to take a Sawzall and cut up your ski, but don't. I'm sorry, Mitch. I am the messenger of bad news. Yamaha is trying to screw those HO owners. I already told you they're gonna give you that big screen in about 3 years. They'll make you come back. Do you think the 2019 GP 1800R SVHO is a quality ski? Dude, it got Watercraft of the Year for like 2 years in a row. Heck yeah. It's more ski than most people can handle. That's for sure. Yeah, that's for darn sure. It's way more ski than most people can handle. So, and it's lightweight. It'll beat you up. All right. Do you think Yamaha GP line or other Wave Runner models will change from Nano XL to SMC? No, I really don't. Because the power to weight ratio is choice. The power to weight ratio is through the moon. So, yeah, I'd be really hard pressed for them to get rid of the nano hulls on the GP. I'm like sitting here reclining with my feet up. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to see that hull change. I just don't. All right, guys. I think we're groovy. Unless we got some more unless we have a super chat or something. Yeah, if someone has a really pertinent question, make it a super chat and I'll answer it. Otherwise, I got to split. Yeah, it's an hour and a half and we're just over 107. All right, guys. Thank you very much. No, you can't add the sound system to the Yamaha post-manufacturing. Dealers can't even do it. That was surprising when they told us that. The dealers are not installing those sound systems. They're going to make you buy the Bluetooth Exo Gear ones. So, all right, guys. Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, they really want you to buy a new one. And so that's kind of the name of the game when it comes to that. So, all right, guys. Thanks again. Switch video and article comes out on Wednesday, I believe, is going to be when we schedule that. I got a heck of a week. And thank you again for the super chats. Thank you again for buying your shirts. We have the hyperlink at the top. And if you haven't already gotten your Watercraft shirt or your Watercraft Journal shirt or your Ask Hole shirt or your social distancing shirt, I think in honor of Chris, we might do the Engage Your Brain shirt. That might be fun. But appreciate it very much. I might even send Chris a free Engage Your Brain. No, I'm teasing. But I'm giving him a hard time. That's not fair. But all right, guys. Thanks again. This was fun. Have a good night. We'll talk soon.